Hey, so I wanted to try something different, and so we're doing that. Today we're going to be doing a Pokemon Platinum monologue. Now for those of you who don't know what a monologue is, it's pretty simple. We're only allowed to use one type of Pokemon for this entire game. The type that we'll be using is the water type. Now a monologue may seem a bit easy to you guys, and that's why we're doing it with hardcore rules. Right now you're seeing the rules that I'm using, and trust me, if you've seen any of my previous Nuzlockes, you'll know that this is going to be extremely hard for me. Platinum is one of my favourite games to play, so I decided why not try this challenge on one of my favourite games. So without further ado, let's get into the Pokemon Platinum monologue. We start off with Rowan introducing us to the Pokemon world. We then pick our name, which obviously we go with Jakey. Then we pick our rival's name, Elon. Don't ask me why, I just like the name Elon. Plus, Elon Musk is pretty cool, I guess. We're then teleported to our room where we were watching TV, and Elon busts in when we could have been doing anything. We then make our way to Elon's house where he pushes us, and we then interrupt his personal time. As you can see on screen now, this is where we change the battle scene from shift to set. Next we make our way up to the first route where Rowan introduces us to the Pokemon that we'll be picking. Now, as the title suggests, we're only using water type, so we go with Piplup. Elon gets a bit excited, but we wipe the floor with him. We then check out our Adamant Nature Piplup, which is amazing. After that, we make our way to Lake Verity, where this creepy dude is just looking at the water talking to himself. Who the f*** was that guy? So the Nuzlocke hasn't officially begun yet, because we haven't got our Pokeballs. So we make our way to Rome where we can finally name our Piplup. I decided to go with Max as this was the very first name I gave to a Piplup. Piplup was also the first starter that I used for any Gen 4 game. Hi mom, love you. Dawn then shows us how to catch Pokemon for the 11th time, as I'm sure we all know how to catch one. I then make my way to the Pokemart just to buy some Pokeballs for our next encounters, and also some potions and antidotes. Oh, maybe not antidotes. We then get ready for our first encounter. This took ages to find, but I wanted to get a Bidoof from this route, which almost kills us. Yeah, Bidoof has some good power in it, so I'm glad that we got it as an encounter. We name it Betty, which I think suits it very much. Quick heal at the Pokemon Center, you're going to see that a lot. We then do a bit of grinding and make our way to the very first trainer in this lock. Just before that though, we almost lose Betty. That happened a handful of times. Luckily it didn't go down, although I was very scared at many times whilst grinding it up. Eventually we do take on the trainer on the first route. It wasn't that much of a battle, seeing as I just threw out Max, who was level 9 in comparison to his level 5 Starly. Easy win for us. We then move on to the next trainer. Bidoof versus Bidoof, but you know that I'm always going to switch into Max. Especially knowing Betty's poor defense. It's definitely a glass cannon, we know that now. Another stop at the Pokemon Center, and we're on our way to the next trainer. He had a Burmy which Betty was pretty comfortable with until it wasn't. So I sent out Max, and there we have it. Anyways, we make our way into the trainer school to battle these two nerds. We then talk to Elon, as he needs his journal that he obviously forgot in a rush. What do you know, we run into another creepy guy who wants us to talk to 3 clowns? Odd. After that, we grab the fishing rod and we make our way to Route 218. I sat here for quite a long time trying to land a Pokemon, but we eventually got our Magikarp. With the Magikarp caught, I decided to call it Kygo. You know, after the famous Norwegian DJ. We go back to the creepy guy to be rewarded with a Poketch. I then decide not to go and battle Elon just yet and do a bit more grinding, seeing as we're not capable of taking him on just yet. Betty almost dies once again, but Max is there to save the day once again. Pokemon Center. I then decided that we could get one more encounter, so I went and found a Psyduck. After catching Psyduck, we name it Sandra and we move on. After a bit more grinding, we make our way to Barry. This was an important battle. A lot of people white out at this point in the game, so I was very adamant on making sure the team was ready for this battle. Max takes out the Starly with a little bit of ease, and then out came the Turtwig. Now, unless you don't know your type mashups, this wasn't looking good for us. My tactic was to hit this thing as much as possible with Max and get it out of there as soon as possible. Max takes massive damage from Turtwig. Luckily, it doesn't go down, but I had to switch out into Betty. Betty hits this thing with a couple of tackles and down goes the Turtwig. Easy wins over Elon. We then moved on to a couple of trainers in the route, who some of them actually gave us quite a scare, Kricketot being one of them. Didn't want to lose Sandra just yet, due to Abide. And I know how everyone talks about Gyarados being too OP for a Nuzlocke, so I sent out Kygo. Luckily, it took it well, and we went out into Betty to finish the Kricketot off. The trainers in the cave were pretty much a pushover, with Sandra absolutely decimating the Starly and the Shinx with their water guns. Elon tells us that the gym leader is in the mines, so one quick trip to the Pokemon Center and we make our way down to the mines. In here there was a lot of opportunities to get XP for Sandra, which was great. We eventually meet Rourke, who does this. Cool, I guess. But we make our way into the gym and our first trainer has a Geodude. Sandra one-shots it easily and the next trainer does the same. Finally, we meet Rourke in his gym. First up is the Geodude. We take it out with a lot of ease, with just one water gun from Sandra. Sandra wants to learn Disable, and I think that's pretty good, so I decide to forget Elwit. Next up we have Onyx, and the water gun takes it out. Last but not least is Cranidos, who I was very scared of, especially with the Leer straight off the bat. We hit it with a water gun, and it takes it to just under half. Rourke then uses a potion, but Sandra fires back with a water gun. Only like 1 HP left, Cranidos hits us with a headbutt and we live on 11. Sandra finishes off the Cranidos with one more water gun. And there it is. We have our very first gym badge of this monologue. Another trip to the Pokemon Center and we're back to Jubilife City, where we meet the odd guy again. He tells us a bunch of stuff, but it's really not that important right now. We then make our way up to see Team Galactic starting a fight with an old man and a little girl, Raucous. We then decide to take on Team Galactic, and I was leading with Kygo. I then decided to bring out Sandra, who has been absolutely destroying people recently. I had full faith that she'd do well, and I wasn't disappointed, with Sandra gaining an extra level and also taking out the Stunky. Dawn and Rowan then give us a bunch of exposition that really isn't relevant to us now, and another random guy comes and greets us. What's with this game and old people coming up to young people randomly? Anyways, we make our way up the route, and I decide to catch a Bidoof, just as a HM slave. I think I could be let off on that one. We then teach it Rock Smash, and make our way through the cave. Once on Route 204, we then take on the first trainer on it. It has a Bidoof which knows Absorb, which can be quite annoying for us. However, Max is a beast and tanks it. A couple of pounds later, and Bidoof is down. Next is Cherubi, who I was very scared of. I went into Sandra because of the levels, and we hit it with a bunch of scratches. Does the trick every time. Bug catches next, and he has a Wurmple. Not much of a threat, so I go into Betty. However, Betty is, as we said, a glass cannon, and can't take a hit for anything. So back into Sandra the Beast, and this is where it gets scary. Kricketot used Bide, and it was literally about to unleash it. Look at my team right now, and what would you do? I went into Kygo, because I didn't want to lose anyone else, and this happened. It's unfortunate, Kygo. May you rest in peace, you beautiful Norwegian DJ. I decided to put Sandra in and it knocked out the Kricketot pretty easily. I didn't take on the twins straight away, so a quick trip to the Pokemon Center was needed. Goodbye, Kygo. It was nice to know you. Route 205 next, and we meet 11 from Stranger Things on the route. He says that her papa needs help, so we decide to make our way to the Valley Windworks. Before we actually save Hopper though, we have to get another encounter. I was hoping for a Weasel, because I completely forgot about Shellos, but Shellos is the better encounter here. Luckily, Sandra gets it down to the yellow, and we can throw some Pokeballs. We name it Shelly as, you know, it would be rude not to call it Shelly. It's a Shellos. Told you we'd be in here a lot. Anyways, we go to help Hopper, but this Team Galactic grunt is in the way. So, time to take him on. I then noticed the levels, which is 13 to 10, and I thought I need to do some grinding before we have any chance of going in here. If you don't know, the battle in here is a lock defining one. I won't spoil who it is, but she is notorious for ending locks. Anyways, the grunt runs inside and we make our way to go get some honey. But two galactic grunts are bullying an old guy again. What is with these guys? We decide to take on the first one who has a Stunky, so I decide to switch into Max, seeing as it's level 13 as well. I then hit it with a couple of bubbles and realise that's not working. I go into Sandra again, who is our crutch right now, and it finishes it off with 2 water guns. The second grunt decides he wants a bit of this, so I give it to him. Well, try to with Betty anyways. I decide to switch into Max, who then hits it with a couple of bubbles, and we almost lose Max. I couldn't believe it. Sandra again, and we go for the water gun to finish off the Zubat. The second Zubat comes out and I decided I can't do anything but keep going with the water guns. It paid off in the end. Anyways, this old guy that they were bullying gave us the work key. We then use it to unlock the Valley Windworks and head inside where this grunt is still running away from us. I stupidly decide to take on the first grunt, knowing that the levels are far too high for me, but in the end it works out, as we hit it with a couple of bubbles from Max and a couple of pounds. We almost die again, but straight into Sandra, take it out with the water gun. As I was leaving the Valley Windworks, I stupidly went through the grass and encountered a Weasel. For some reason I thought it was good to stay out with Betty, knowing it's a glass cannon, and we get whittled down to 1 HP. Quick trip to the Pokemon Center. But yeah, that's the first part of this Pokemon Platinum monologue. If you did enjoy, please leave a like and share the video around, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. It really means a lot to me. Let me know if you want to see any more of this series and I'll get it out to you guys. Anyways, thank you all for watching again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!